Hey everybody, I'm Brad, that's Scott. We're going to bring to you today our first ever pickup video. So we decided to start a retro collection, kind of late in the game, but we figured we'd give it a shot, see what we can come up with. Our first day we went out and did this, we were able to get 24 games. We got one game at a yard sale, one game at a game store, or two games at a game, three games at a game store, and then we got 20 from a friend. All right, so we're gonna go over the collection. This is basically our entire collection so far. So hopefully we'll make a video for all the games we get, and eventually we'll document the whole collection. So we'll start off with you.
All right, our first game we got was at a yard sale. We just randomly found a yard sale by our house, and the first game was Marble Madness. I believe they were trying to sell it for $6, was it?
Yeah, it was $6.
And we talked them down to like $3 or something like that. So we have Marble Madness. I believe it came out in '86.
Yeah, I think it was 1986.
Good year.
A buddy of mine actually had that game when I was a kid, so we remember playing it pretty.
Being hard.
Really hard. Yeah. Like second, third.
Like annoying hard.
Yeah, like annoyingly hard. Next, there's a local game store that sells the used games. We decided that'd be our best shot to look and try to get a couple of games just to start the collection, get playing. They had Ninja Gaiden. I think we paid a good bit for this one. It was maybe $12.
It was $9 to $12, something in that ballpark.
I think it was $9 or $12. So again, another classic game, but it's pretty hard also. I think that's kind of the common theme with all the Nintendo games, is they're all pretty dang on hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ninja Gaiden.
Then with that was when we bought the 20 games through our friend.
Right, it was 20 games, 2 controllers, a zapper, and and I think that was it.
Yeah.
He charged us $60 for the entire lot. So basically $3 per game, and we got some pretty good ones in there. So, list.
Our first one on the list was Super C. It was a sequel to Contra. Again, very hard game.
Yeah, we actually played a little bit earlier, and we struggled. We couldn't even get past the first level.
I kept dying within like 5 minutes. It was horrible.
Next, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. This was released in 1990. It was a port from the arcade. Pretty good game. Not the graphics and stuff obviously aren't
definitely
as good
decreased when it went from the arcade to the console.
Yeah, but still fun nonetheless. Again, another game that from my childhood I remember playing a lot of.
Yeah. And talking about childhood games, Double Dragon. I love playing Double Dragon, especially with two people. It's so much funner.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing about Double Dragon is I believe you can hit each other, right?
Yeah, I think so. Double Dragon was one of the first games we actually had for the Nintendo. At least one of the first ones I remember. It was Double Dragon and Mario. Like, those were the games. Then we had one of the first 4-player co-op games that I remember playing with. We'd get all the friends together and have races, and that's Super Off-Road. Super Off-Road was released in 1991. Again, it was another port from an arcade game. So I remember just having a blast with this. You could upgrade your cars as you went.
Yeah.
The controls were simple once you
got the hang of it.
Yeah, once you got the hang of it.
It's like backwards. Like it doesn't switch.
The orientation doesn't change as you move. Yeah. So, but other than that, really fun game. Kind of like, in my opinion, the first Mario Kart type game where you all get together and race in a game.
Has NOS in it.
Yeah.
And next we have Track and Field 2. I don't remember quite much about this except for just pounding a button.
Yeah, all you did was just hit
pound
the
button and hit another button to jump.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all it is. This was an old one. This came out in like '88, I think. And yeah. Another hard one. Just button masher.
Next, we have probably next to Contra, debatable. This is debatably the hardest game ever made.
And a game everybody knows.
Everybody knows Battletoads. Battletoads was hard. I mean, you can't even really just explain it much
I
more than
remember
hard.
trying to play it one player and just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
It's one of those games you definitely need somebody with you to play.
Yeah, I guess in 1991, everyone was trying to do the Ninja Turtle craze and make a weird hero, and they came up with Battletoads, and
it worked.
It lives in infamy today.
Then we have Captain Skyhawk. I don't remember this game at all.
Yeah,
truthfully.
I didn't remember the name of it, but when we put it in and played it, I remember playing it somewhere, and I remembered really having a good time with it, but I don't necessarily remember much substance to any of it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it came out in 1990, so it's an older game, but it was one of the first third person flight simulators that I remember playing, and you would shoot targets on the ground and in the air and avoid the mountain ranges. It was pretty neat. I liked it. Next game I didn't really play. It's a pretty common sports game. Jack Nicklaus, The Greatest 18 Holes of Major Championship Golf.
That's all I have to work in title.
I mean, that's the title's more words than we really have to say about it. So.
And next we have another game I've never really heard of is Amagon. Is that right?
Amagon, something like that. Yeah.
Don't really know what to say about this one because I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's just a side-scrolling, basic Nintendo game. It's out in 1998.
The cover of this is ridiculous. It's a big, strong, buff guy, shirtless, standing over top of a little kid. Is that supposed to be him?
Next to a dinosaur.
Next to a dinosaur, yes. It's horrible. It's horrible.
The next game we got was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project, which is the sequel to the other Ninja Turtle games that we got, but this one was a lot more advanced. You had more moves. It wasn't just the swipe.
I like that one a lot, yeah.
Yeah, this one, the first Turtles came out in 90, this came out in 92, made by Konami, of course. It stays on the same path as Part 2, as a good game, arcade type, multiplayer, but it actually, the gameplay and the graphics are improved substantially to where you have special moves and more than just the kick or the attack that you had in the previous one.
Well, the special moves hurt you in that game.
Yeah, it actually takes away health.
Yeah. And next we have Double Dragon 3. Obviously a sequel to Double Dragon and Double Dragon 2. I can't remember much about this one.
It had a pretty good the graphics heading, were much better in Part 3. You had a little bit more of a skill sets available, and it was a little more difficult, I think. But overall, it was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Especially from
and it was always,
the early 90s.
It's always a good two-player just sit down and
beat the crap out of everything.
Beat people up game, yeah.
And next we have Skate or Die. Again, one of the earlier games that I remember playing. I don't think I actually owned it. Our buddy owned it.
No.
This came out in 1998. It was basically the first skateboard game. You had a couple of different things you could do. There was like a street race version. You had like a trick, a freestyle, all a bunch of different stuff. The controls were the worst thing about this.
Very hard and difficult, and it came out in 88, not 98.
Oh, that's right, 88. But it was hard, and the controls were probably the biggest problem. Once you figured those out, which I don't remember them.
Yeah.
I think
I got more frustrated with the game, but I always remembered Skate or Die, like the name. Like I always thought it was like a fantastic game to play. But when we replayed it just to mess around, it was like, did we really figure this out?
Yeah,
like,
somehow we knew how to do it back then. But
then probably another game that I've never heard of was The Adventures of Bayou Billy.
It was a side scroller beat 'em up, something kind of like Double Dragon, but nowhere near as good.
Nope.
You could pick up weapons and you could get bullets, but the enemies basically took forever to kill, and just as much as it seemed like they had as much health as you did. So it was kind of like by the time you killed the screen full of enemies, you were basically either dead or anyway. The next one would kill you. Next game I never actually played. I don't think it was very good. It was by Jalico. Metal Mech came out in the 90s. It's a side-scrolling game where you walk with a mech and shoot stuff. It was kind of the controls I couldn't get the hang of. I couldn't figure out how to shoot low, because when you ducked and shoot, you would duck and shoot, it would shoot diagonally, so you couldn't. I don't know. I just didn't like it, but
we got it.
It was part of the lot.
After that, we have Blaster Master. This was fun. I remember playing this a lot.
Yeah, our cousin had it, and we would play over his house all the time.
I don't remember how far we actually got in the game.
I remember it was cool because it's been 20 years since I've played this game, maybe longer, but I think there was levels within the car or within your vehicle, and then you would get out of the vehicle.
Right, and I think you have 2 different healths.
Yeah.
Also, I think you have a health which was cool. You weren't just like one big long health bar and you died.
Yeah. The next game was one of the games that came out for the Zapper shooting range. It basically the name kind of speaks for itself. It came out in 98, 89. Sorry, I keep saying that. And you just shot a bunch of stuff. It had target range, like target practice, and then you had the things where the guys would go by and don't shoot the innocent person.
Which you always did.
Which you always did, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, next we have PAL, Prisoners of War. This is, again, a game that's not too familiar that I remember playing. What do you know about it?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. It's 1998. It's kind of the shoot 'em up. It's a 1989. Why do I keep saying 98? It's just a basic shoot 'em up. I look forward to kind of playing it because it's one of the games that we have that I never really played. I hadn't really played before, so yeah.
I just like how the cover says "Made in Japan" real big. Like,
right.
They want you to
that
know.
was the most important part of the title.
It's pretty much the same size as the title of the game.
Yeah. Next, I'm assuming this was a product of the 1980s Say No to Drugs thing that the government had going on. It was NARC. And it says, no one had the guts until now. And they made sure that they put just say no on the cover. Besides the obvious trying to get kids not to use drugs, Acclaim actually made a decent game. Like I remember playing it when I was a kid.
And you could...
I never did drugs, by the way, so it actually worked.
You could arrest them or interrogate people instead of killing them or something like that.
Right, you could either take them out, or if you walked up on them and just held still, it would actually arrest them.
Okay.
Which was interesting. But yeah, I look forward to actually playing that again as well, because it's been a while, and I remember enjoying it. We'll see how that holds up. But.
And also with the pack was your classic Super Mario, Duck Hunt, and World Class Track Meet game, the 3-in-1 combo. I mean, it's pretty...
You don't really have to say anything about...
I mean, it's Mario and Duck Hunt.
Mario and Duck Hunt. The track meet used the power pad where you would actually run on there.
We need to get that.
And race. Yeah, we don't have one of those, so we'll have to get that. And those were always entertaining and tiring.
Very tiring, yes.
Yeah. And the last Nintendo game that we got in that lot was the gold cartridge Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. I didn't play this one too much because I at the time I didn't really like it. I was expecting, and I think a lot of people were expecting the Zelda 1,
right.
A game like that, and they turned this into a side scroller, open world kind of side scroller where you walk around a map, and if you encounter enemies,
kind of like Final Fantasies.
Yeah, the map was kind of a Dragon Warrior, Final Fantasy type, and then when you would find the opponent, when you find enemies, you would go into a different side-scrolling world to take them out. This one came out in 1988. People give it mixed reviews. I like it. The few minutes I played of it, it's pretty cool. So I'm excited to give this one a try again as well, just to try to experience it. I didn't really as a kid, and it's in a gold cartridge, so that's always cool.
And I mean, it is Zelda.
It's a Zelda.
So.
Yeah.
That was it for the Nintendo games. We do have some Genesis games here. We actually bought this Genesis game, Aladdin, which was one of I never had a Sega, but I remember somebody we had, maybe our stepbrother or somebody had Sega, and they had Aladdin. I remember playing it all the time.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
Yeah, we bought this at the game store by our house. I don't remember how much we paid for it.
I think it was like $6 or something like that.
But I saw it and I was like, if there's one game for Genesis, it has to be Aladdin. So.
Yeah. And the final game we also got this from the local game store as well. This is the Genesis 6-pack. We decided to get this because it was kind of more bang for your buck kind of deal.
Yeah, it was just something for us to play and everything also.
Yeah, and it has because we had went to the game store before we got the lot of 20 games, so we wanted to just get some games to play. And this one came with Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, which was a personal childhood favorite, Streets of Rage, again another childhood favorite, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Super Hang-On, the motorcycle race game. I think we paid $8 for this one.
Yeah.
Not a bad deal, but especially with 6 games. Yeah. All right, so that's our first pickup video. So we got a total of 24 cartridges.
Yeah.
And we paid about $75 for it. We paid $60 for 20. And then we paid another like $15 or $20 at the game store to pick up 3 other ones. Hope you guys enjoy the video, our pickup video. If you see any games in there that you want us to play and make a let's play video of, or maybe do a video review, let us know. If you like what you see and you want to see our collection grow, we plan on making pickup videos for the games that we get, as well as gameplay videos. So just leave us a comment, subscribe, like the video. We look forward to talking to you guys in the comments and growing the channel. So thanks a lot, everybody.